Lonile Gogoro, Mainland FM Lobode. My name is Dolapo Martins. This is Mainland FM 98.3.
I had a rumor that you were searching for the station to give you joy, laughter, and happiness. I had a rumor that the station you're searching for is right here. I mean, here. 98.3 Mainland FM, the sound of Lagos.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. And I want to use this medium to talk to you. Please, look at the youth of Nigeria. We are really suffering.
Politics plays its part in everything that defines us as a sovereign entity. Isn't it right to discuss what makes it tick? When the main actors converge in the power corridors to make decisions that affect the next meal, shouldn't we probe even deeper?
Nigeria is suffering. The suffering is too much.
When it comes to the complexities of politics, we strive to give it clarity, to deepen your understanding as the listener.
The decisive factor will be knowledgeable leadership committed to good governance.
Make it a date with Oᴘᴇᴇᴅ and Saeed Fuad on Midweek Politics every Wednesday from 1 to 3 p.m. on your top dial, Mainland 98.3 FM. Politics, it's a whole meal.
Political enemies, they don't want you to succeed. Have you just realizing that? No matter what I do, they will still abuse me.
More and more. And as time they go, children they die more and more. No food to eat, no light to see.
Oga Police, no worry, I see you. You know you can do the right thing, right? You know you can do without that bribe. You know you don't even have to harass that young man because he is properly dressed. And you think he's a Yahoo boy? You don't even have to assault that citizen whom you have sworn an oath to protect. Yes. We understand that the pay is not good enough to take you home, that you are still wearing a uniform that you bought with your own money 5 years ago. It's no news that the government has not done enough by you. We feel your pain and we wish things could be different as we continue to call on government to wake up to their responsibilities. We want the police to be our friends, just as it is boldly stated across the various police stations nationwide. And from Mainland 98.3 FM, we implore you to do better. We love you and we support you always.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. And I want to use this medium to talk to you. Please, look at the youth of Nigeria. We are really suffering.
Politics plays its part in everything that defines us as a sovereign entity. Isn't it right to discuss what makes it tick? When the main actors converge in the power corridors to make decisions that affect the next meal, shouldn't we probe even deeper?
Nigeria is suffering. The suffering is too much.
When it comes to the complexities of politics, we strive to give it clarity, to deepen your understanding as the listener.
The decisive factor will be knowledgeable leadership committed to good governance.
Make it a date with Oᴘᴇᴇᴅ and Saeed Fuad on Midweek Politics every Wednesday from 1 to 3 p.m. on your top dial, Mainland 98.3 FM. Politics, it's a whole meal.
Political enemies, they don't want you to succeed. Have you just realizing that? No matter what I do, they will still abuse me.
More and more. And as time they go, children they die more and more. No food to eat, no light to see, no water to drink.
It is safe for me to say Happy New Month for the show because it comes up every Wednesday, 1 to 3 p.m. on your Super Dial Milan 98.3 FM. It is midweek politics. And last time we were here on the show was last month. And I've always said it. I don't know where this year is running to. January used to be very funny. They say, oh, January is 61, January is something. We're in March. So we've told each other Happy New Month twice already in 2026. Well, maybe the time and season is just aligning with what will probably go down as one of the most important moments in our political journey. The 1999 transition was a defining moment. Obasanjo finishing his 8 years, and then the drama and the controversy surrounding the candidacy of election, Yar'Adua, how Jonathan came into the picture. It was a moment where we're supposed to solidify whatever it was that Obasanjo achieved in 8 years. Whether we got it right or wrong, it's a conversation for another day. And of course, Jonathan completed that after the unfortunate death of Yar'Adua. Then he did his 4 years. And that was a critical moment. Yeah, you need to follow the sequence of this monologue. Defining moments, solidifying moment, critical moment in our democracy, because that was the first time that a sitting president from the ruling party was defeated in an election. So there was a ruling party that had been in office for 16 years. They went into the 2007 election with about 31 state governors and absolute control of the majority in the National Assembly. It was a winner takes all situation or era for the People's Democratic Party. Then within that period, the opposition was also building its momentum. There was the CPC, there was the ANPP, there was the AC that moved into ACN, there was a faction of ABGA, PDP, disgruntled governors that formed the new PDP. It looks like the opposition was cooking the right menu, whether it was propaganda, whether it was agenda, whether it was what Nigerians wanted to hear. The build up to the 2015 election was a defining moment as well for us, because a new party came up on board, whether it was for the right reason or it was just a coming together of people of different interests. Buhari came into office, and a lot of things went from bad to worse within that period. Security didn't get better. Infrastructure, it looks like there was no coordination in the leadership structure in Nigeria. It looks like the ministers were just in a world of their own. The president was often out of the country. There were times where he spent 97 days out of the country. Cumulatively, in 8 years, the president spent about 4 months and 11 days cumulatively out of office, medical issues at some point. Sorry, in 4 years rather. Then put it together cumulatively in those 8 years. Former President Muhammadu Buhari spent over 700 days out of this country on medical trips. So, those were moments where, insecurity got worse. And in 2023, there was so much assurance coming from the electoral body. Immediately past INEC chairman, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, came up with, oh, don't worry, we've got the election covered. The mode of transmission, there's going to be the IREP, there's going to be this. And there was increased interest. Because INEC told us in 2022 that there were almost 10 million newly registered voters. So it took our voters registered to almost 100 million. And a lot of people were expecting that, the turnout was going to be big. Now, it wasn't just a two-horse race like we've always had in 1999. We had the APC. We had the PDP, and then we had the Labour Party, and then there was the new Nigerian People's Party, Rabi Musa Kwankwaso, the Kwankwasia movement, that was also building and gathering momentum from the northwest into some of the north central states and all of that. So we went into the 2023 election with a lot of optimism. But at the end of the day, whatever went wrong or right, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was declared the winner of the election with over 8 million votes. Atiku Abubakar got about 6.8 million. Peter Obi had about 6.1 million. Rabi Musa Kwankwaso had, I think, a little close to 2 million or thereabout, if I'm not mistaken. So the legal battle also began. The reasons, the issues around challenging the legitimacy of the result, or whether there were glitches in the IREF, whatever issues, but we moved on. And almost 3 years now, the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu have had to deal with a whole lot of issue. On the 29th of May at the Eagle Square, the announcement on the removal of subsidy, the floating of the naira, it looks like we're not ready for all of those, but somehow, some way, we weathered the storm. My guest yesterday, Honorable Moses Oladakpo, the ADC House of Assembly for Ikorodu Constituency 1 in the last election, was on the show, and he said, listen, whatever it was that this administration is doing, he called this administration a trial and error administration. There's been a lot of policies somersault, there's been appointment, reappointment, withdrawal, but it looks like Nigerians have found a way to steady the ship and we're moving on quietly. But hey, in the midst of all of this moving on, people are still getting killed. From Kwara to Niger to Benue to Borno to Kebbi to Plateau to Nasarawa to Zamfara, Nigerians are feeling the heat of the bandits, the Boko Haram, the insurgents, the whatever it is you choose to place it. So we have a democracy that we seems not to have found a way to solidify the base of that democracy, which is taking governance to the people. Well, it's going to be a very engaging conversation on the show today. First off, we look at how the opposition is preparing for the 2027 election. I remember Said Fuad and I were always getting the sticks on the show when we talk about 2027 election in 2024. And people were like, oh, you people are still in 2024. Why are you discussing 2027? Ladies and gentlemen, the next election is in January 2027. That's about 10 months or less away from here. Well, I'm sure a lot of people that have followed this program for the past years, you will understand that the election cycle only concerns Nigerians because we feel like it's every 4 years. Listen, the moment a Nigerian politician gets sworn in, the next cycle of elections becomes his priority in areas of appointment, distribution of project and development, concentrations, all of those things, because he's wondering, okay, let me focus on so and so. I didn't do well there. Let me pick my chief of staff from, for instance, Lagos West. Oh, let me pick this one. Let the speaker come from Lagos Central. Oh, let the deputy speaker come from this one. So that issue or idea of, carrying everybody along as an end goal, which is that, okay, when I come back to you to ask for your vote, what would you tell me? Oh, you did well for us. You gave us road. You gave us technical school. Oh, you gave us a good primary healthcare center. We'll return you into office. Oh, you did. So every appointment that these politicians make, from the governor to the president to even local government chairman, it is towards the next election. But you and I are just somewhere. The 2 years, we're just ranting. And we're not joining any political party. We're not getting involved politically. So when people come up with this phrase, elections are not won on social media, a lot of people get attacked for that. Oh, we'll talk. Good and fair. The build up to the last election, there were a lot of opinion polls that was giving a particular candidate the lead in almost all of the opinion polls, the online polls. But at the end of the day, the result was different from all of the opinion polls, because elections are won based on structures. And so maybe you also don't understand what we mean when we say elections are won based on structures. Now, the mode of primaries has now been flattened. Is either it is consensus or direct primaries. So there's nothing like a selected privileged people that would often refer to as delegates. So you come them in one hotel in Abuja, then you give them $10,000, and then they choose who would be the flag bearer of the party. The recently amended 2022 Electoral Act 2026 had ruled out indirect primaries. So is either there's a consensus or you go to the polls. Polls in this way means that registered members of the political party would have to queue behind their preferred candidates. That is democracy. That is one part of the amended Electoral Act a lot of people didn't even look into. The other one is the fact that political parties and membership had to be based on registration and not association. So this is what I mean. You can associate with a political party. They can see you with a political party. But if you are not a card-carrying member, a dues-paying member of that political party, and you've not been a member of that political party for a certain number of days, you cannot contest on the platform of that political party. It's as simple as that. So we've moved away from the era of political parties making themselves available as special purpose vehicles. If you lose in the primaries of your party, You jump into the next party, they give you the ticket. We saw all of that played out at different times. In fact, some of these smaller parties in quotes would conduct a primaries and make someone a placeholder. So when they are disgruntled members of the bigger political party, they'll say, come here, we've got a slot for you. So they'll make you the candidate. All of those are changing with the amended act. But a lot of us are just interested in mode of transmission. We'd also look at it. Do you also know that this amended electoral act also stated the basis upon which you can challenge the outcome of an election result? And guess what? Falsification of result is no longer a base for you to challenge the outcome of a result. Oh, you didn't know all of that? Let's take a short break. When we come back, Side Friday is here. We dig into all of this on the show today. We'll also look at how the APC is preparing for the election. There was a nationwide congress of the All Progressive State Congress of the APC yesterday, and maybe for the first time since 1999, we saw a congress that was seamless, less chaotic, organized, and coordinated. It looks like whether it's consensus, however way it was. But for the first time, we've not heard anyone saying, in Delta, I was skimmed out, this one and that one. So we're waiting for the PDP. With about 2.5 governors left out of the 14 they had this time last year. We'll also look for the ADC, the new bride, the biggest of the coalition. We'll also look at Labour Party and a few other political parties. But let's take a short break. When we come back, we'll go straight up into the conversation. The governor of Adamawa State, Governor Fintiri, had crossed to the All Progressive Congress, and he says that the seats of power must remain in the south. Stick around.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. And I want to use this medium to talk to you. Please, look at the youth of Nigeria. We are really suffering.
Politics plays its part in everything that defines us as a sovereign entity. Isn't it right to discuss what makes it tick? When the main actors converge in the power corridors to make decisions that affect the next meal, shouldn't we probe even deeper?
Nigeria is suffering. The suffering is too much.
When it comes to the complexities of politics, we strive to give it clarity, to deepen your understanding as the listener.
The decisive factor will be knowledgeable leadership committed to good governance.
Make it a date with ᴏᴜᴇᴇ and Saeed Fuad on Midweek Politics every Wednesday from 1 to 3 p.m. on your top dial, Mainland 98.3 FM. Politics, it's a whole meal.
Political enemies, they don't want you to succeed. Have you just realizing that? No matter what I do, they will still abuse me.
Things they spoil more and more. Time they go. Children they die more and more. No food to eat. No light to see. No water to drink.
Well, welcome back, and thank you very much for staying with us. We're on a stretch from now till 3 p.m. and it is hardcore politics. And like I would always say, I think I started out since November last year, a very clear disclaimer that whatever we discuss on this show is void of emotions. It is hardcore politics. We bring investigative politics to radio for you. So you may exactly not agree with the positions, and you make you, somebody told me yesterday that I'm now working for the All Progressive Congress. I laughed because we have to put the fact on the table. Side forward, it's a beautiful Wednesday afternoon, and the days are getting smaller and the hours are getting fewer, and it looks like Nigerians are gradually embracing the fact that the general election is going to be in January 2027 as against the February and March that we were preparing for. Good to have you join us on the show today.
Kwemi, thank you for having me. My pleasure to be on the show this afternoon. Again, a lot to deal with. Information almost on an hourly basis. You know, there's something new that comes up in the political space, apart from what I can consider international distractions with the US-Iran-Israeli war. The reality is that back home, our politicians are already, gearing up, putting things in place, organizing themselves for the 2027 general elections. The off-cycle elections are also very close to us. We might also see an interplay. You know, my mind tells me the effects or the results of some of the primary elections that will be preceding some of the off-cycle elections could also have some form of impact, you know, directly or indirectly. But whatever it is, a lot to deal with, a lot that Nigerians have to put their minds on. The reality is that, look, when it comes to politics, it has to be devoid of emotions, sentiments. You know, politics is what it is. And again, if it has to deal with the way we play politics in Nigeria, I keep saying the way we play it in Nigeria, because the reality is that a lot of our political activities are not completely guided by rules. They're actually guided by intrigues, maneuvering, scheming, and a lot of other things that are not really known to law. But it is the way we do our own things here. And so if that is the way we do it, we just have to pay attention to what is happening in the political space, take away emotions and sentiments, be a bit more strategic. You know, when I say strategic now, it means you also have to come up with your own A game, whether you are in the ruling party or in the opposition. In the opposition, it's just what it is.
All right, I'm talking about the opposition. A chieftain of the ADC had come out to say that the ruling party are G3. So let's run through these ones real quick. We'll just touch all of these. Then we'll look at international politics. Then we'll now come back and talk about the amended Electoral Act. Well, a chieftain of the ADC, Dele Momodu, has said the ruling APC is unsettled by the growing strength of the opposition across the country. He said it earlier today. According to him, he said recent political development shows that the opposition is gaining ground and putting pressure on the federal government. Opposition is gathering momentum. And you can see that even the government is G3. Forget about their propaganda. He went on to say that it is obvious that the ruling party is G3. That is why they are going all out frantically to try to showcase and pretend as if all is well. But if you read the news today, you would see that APC is indeed in a house of commotion. From Benue State to Zamfara State and so many places, they are fighting themselves like babies fighting for lollipop. He went on to say that everybody goes to the APC now is going there for various reasons. If you're a governor, you're afraid of your second term. If you're a governor, you're afraid of the EFCC. If you're a governor, you're afraid of the ICPC and so many other things. If one alleged that governors are driven by fear of political and legal pressure. If you're afraid, if you're a governor, you're afraid of so many things, including your own shadow. That is why you are going into the APC. Side forward, let's touch this real quick. Chief Dele Momodu obviously have been around for so many years in the political space. A big friend and ally to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at different times. I've seen him avoid insulting the president at every single interview I've had to. He found a way to, maintain the friendship but stick to the political, enmity in quotes. What do you make of this position? 31 governors into the APC. And last week, Friday, there was a late night meeting between the governor of Zamfara State, Governor Daudu Lawal, and his appointees and the stakeholders of the PDP. And after that, the statement was said that the entire stakeholders of the PDP told him to move to the All Progressive Congress. That will leave the PDP with only 2 governors, which is Bauchi, Bala Mohammed. I also had a meeting with the president last week. Yeah. And of course, our Governor ᴏᴜᴛ that have been meeting with Rabi Musa Kwankwaso and also moving around the corridor of the Accord Party in Oyo State. So the PDP has only 2 governors left. And as at February 2025, side forward, the PDP have 13 governors. Okay. You also look at the NNPP, for instance, the only governor they have moved to the All Progressive Congress. You look at Osun State, for instance, the PDP governor had moved into the Accord Party. What do you make of these statements credited to Chief Dele Momodu? He's a chieftain of the ADC, by the way.
Well, with all due respect to Chief Dele Momodu, someone we respect so much in the industry, he's now a politician. But I must say that politically speaking, what he has said does not make any sense. So again, politically speaking, doesn't mean that there's a disrespect to his passing or his personality. I'm just saying that, look, if you put what he has said on the basis of what currently exists in the political space, it does not just make any sense. The reality is that, look, the ruling party has been able to strengthen its fold, consolidate its rank and file, bring in more people to strengthen its political force. And so that is not a sign of being jittery. In fact, what they've done basically is to dismember the opposition, scatter them into two, get them completely confused about how to progress. Again, this is devoid of emotions. We've seen, and the results are quite evident. Okay, whether we like it or not, what was supposed to form the nucleus of the opposition in Nigeria have all been dismantled. Whether we like it or not, governors have big roles to play in a political system that is heavily monetized. Whether in terms of mobilization, getting the party structure going, we know the role governors play. And it's not just governors who are moving, okay, senators are moving, House of Reps members are moving, State Assembly members are moving, ordinary members are also moving from the opposition. So, politically speaking, I am sure that, again, I really would not even want to rate Chief Dele Momodu as a thoroughbred politician. Egbon just moved into politics. No, I'm sure real politicians in the opposition would not take him seriously. They would just, he has just made the statement for making it. It's just for the sake of making that statement. The reality is that, look, this is the worst we've ever had with opposition politics in Nigeria. In fact, this is the most weakened opposition in the history of the country. Whether they have been able to endear themselves to ordinary Nigerians is another conversation. It's a different conversation. But politically speaking, and when we say politically speaking, in terms of party structure, in terms of being able to really entrench themselves, create a structure in every nooks and crannies of the country, they've not been able to really do that. And that's why you can see that they're even complaining as to a basic thing as to having e-registration of members. I saw some of the things that happened on their portal. People check out all manner of funny, so, and the reality is, this opposition needs to tell itself the truth. And I'm also like, a lot of times when I look at the fold of the ADC, and when we say opposition, it's probably the only potent, quote and unquote, opposition we have. The Labour Party, the PDP, let's start with the PDP, is currently locked down in what I can call endless political litigation. It will not end. As we speak, a faction of the PDP that conducted the Congress, we have two judgments now. There's the Federal High Court or the State High Court. The Federal High Court has said, the Congress was null and void. The State High Court has said, well, it's a valid Congress. So they have two conflicting judgments from courts of competent jurisdiction. Competent jurisdiction on the same matter. So now they are waiting for the appeal court, because there's a case in the appeal court. In fact, based on the Federal High Court or your judgment, the faction of the PDP that conducted the Congress had gone to the appeal court. And then the State High Court now ruled in their favor. So, but they are already in the appeal court, because it was going to go to I've said the Supreme Court will have a final say. But okay, if anybody, you see, I had predicted that the PDP will not present a candidate. When are we having the primaries? April. And as we speak, in March, the PDP is still in court, waiting for the appeal court judgment. Whatever comes from the appeal court will be appealed to the Supreme Court. And that will take more. So how are they going to present a candidate? How? So I think somehow Wike has been able to put the PDP where he wants them to be. A strong chokehold. It's choked them to a corner, keep them perpetually in litigation, court cases, to the point where INEC would ask themselves, how do we even entertain correspondences from these people? Who is going to conduct any primary now for the PDP? Because as it stands now, there are two judgments. Who would conduct the Congress? They have not even able to conduct their Congress. In fact, there are almost about 8 states now that have not been able to ratify the previous Congress. The wicked people are still saying they will conduct their own Congress. So the Shemakide people said they've gone ahead to do their own convention, and they are okay. So so look, I think it is reasonable enough to say, you know what, let's just put the PDP aside. They are not in the reckoning for now, and they may not be. In fact, the reality that they will not be. Maybe after the 2027 elections, when people like Wike after helping the president get to power.
When they are done.
I don't know what will now become. I don't know what. Yeah, maybe they will go back home or eventually now say, well,
let's deregister the party.
Let's just deregister the party, so it becomes one of those parties that had existed and is no more. So the future of the PDP for now does not look like a party that will be able to do anything meaningful, and that's why the governors are bolting, apart from other considerations. So the PDP aside, the Labour Party too, as we speak, because when we talk about opposition, we are talking about the entire opposition political parties, the major ones. The Labour Party, yes, have some form of respite because the Nena Usman faction have now been recognized by the courts. But as we speak, the Abure guys are not giving up. They are also going ahead to appeal these judgments, so they may also be tied and held down till when this case is sorted by the Supreme Court. No serious politician, Okwemi, would want to remain in that kind of party and risk, nullification of whatever promise that brings him up as a candidate in 2027. And that's why there are people who are even looking at Alex Otti as a potential governor, a governor that might also be leaving for the ruling party. In fact, if tomorrow we hear that he has left the Labour Party for the ruling party, it should not surprise any of us. The governor of Zamfara State is already making the move. He has said his own people have told him to move, and when you begin to see governors saying things like that, it's just
that's the only time where they recognize the people's power.
So it's just to give a terrible excuse for leaving where they are to the ruling party. So now let's look at the ADC that appears to be the only potent opposition at this time. This is the reality of me. The party exists on so many uncertainties, and you cannot be this close to election, me, and have too many uncertainties around your fold. Number one, I am sure 100% that this president would have planted moles within the fold of the ADC. I told you before that there are top members of the ADC that anytime I see them, what comes to mind is that
these people are
and it's just what it is.
And from close observation, it's looking more like it.
And look, anybody, you will know those people eventually, even though they might not come out clean or open to. But if at the end of the ADC primaries, you have people going to courts to challenge the primaries, just know that those are the people we are talking about. They are there because, you see, one of the things that this president does and this kind of politics is that, before what you call primaries, there's already a consensus. Everybody agrees. Remember what he talked about when he was saying that, Buhari had told him, that, I want you to be my running mate. And at that time, because they had brought in different interest groups, those were arrangements. So even before the primaries, that the NPDP people of Saraki, who had also come into the APC fold with their own interest, the CPC Buhari, the ACN, the Ashiwaju people. So at that time, Buhari felt, okay, you be my running mate.
We'll close ranks.
And then, because for the sake of the party, some people say, oh no, you can't have Muslim ticket. Again, I told some people that, look, it was just maybe the Saraki people not wanting Ashiwaju to be the next in line. So they were going to raise that sentiment, not because the Muslim ticket was a problem to them, really.
Did it not happen eventually?
Eventually. So what I'm saying is that, look at how he said he had to concede his own interest. Look, the politicians who are not strategic in their thinking, will never leave that opportunity to become VP. They
will jump at it.
They will, because to them, the VP means you are just one step to becoming president. And that was a man whose aim was also to become president. And then they formed a party. An opportunity came for him to become a running mate.
And he said no.
And because people raised sentiment that could tear the coalition apart,
he let go.
He stepped back to say, okay, you know what? I'll now give you somebody. In fact, he will not just be a Christian, he will be a pastor. For the sake of the party. Nobody has been able to say, Buhari did not want to make Tinubu his vice president. But look at how, and that's what we call positioning, being very strategic. I am saying it, and Barrister Kosi told me on Sunday that maybe it was a decoy, maybe they are just trying not to let it out too early. I'm sorry, I might be wrong, but that the ADC at this time still has a lot of uncertainties in the minds of the people as to who they are going to push forward eventually. It's a minus, politically speaking. One of the things that, and that was why people said that it might also have accounted for what happened in Abuja. People were not just motivated to go out to vote, apart from other considerations.
To what end?
There must be something. Look, what we saw in 2023 was the motivation, the ginger. As we speak, even obedience are not even sure of what is going to happen eventually.
And none of them are even saying that if PW does not pick the ticket, they will not support whoever.
The obedience are still insisting that it has to be Obi or nobody.
Nothing.
The Atiku people feels that, look, here is a man that, yes, he might have lost one or two primaries.
I think this is his
but in the ADC, it appears that this party was actually formed. The coalition came up to give him a last chance, a last shot at the presidency. Rotimi move has not shown a man who is not also trying to play his politics. Look at the confusion that happened recently when he visited Oyegun in Edo State, and then it was announced that South ADC had endorsed him, only for them to clarify that no,
we only said we welcome his informing us.
That is not endorsement.
But I mean, the ones that
had gone out, and there was a lot of confusion, and so if you had these three people still making voters uncertain about what is going to happen within the party,
especially now that is now direct or consensus.
Now, you see, we're going to get to the Electoral Act, and maybe people will now understand why we're saying that. Look, the opposition has been thrown into complete confusion to the point where the simple things that they are even supposed to pick out, they can no longer pick it out. So if you look at the fold of the ADC today, and this is even at the national level, at the state level, they also have this level of uncertainty in some of the states. And that's why when Obi was shot at in Edo, the news came out that even in Edo State, there are internal wranglings in the ADC fold. We are not saying that those were the people that shot at Obi. I would never even believe that. But I'm just saying that, look, at least to some extent, we were able to also see that even at the state level, the party still has a lot of work to do to unify its rank and file. So where we are is that, look, it would have been nice to start to see already that, look, this is where the ADC is going. I told you, Okwemi, the entire coalition that happened, or the merger that happened in 2014 preceding 2015, we all knew from day one that, look, it was a Buhari thing. It was clear. So his followers and people that should do his job had already started to sell Buhari to the people. They repackaged him. The idea of Islamization that was hovering around him for years, they being an extremist,
everything got reformed.
They changed everything. They had to do the job here. As we speak, the obedience, who I must say are one of the most fanatical supporters of a politician this time. When I say fanatical, these are believers.
Not just supporters.
They are believers in the Obi. It is sad that up till today, they are not even there's no assurance that their person will get the ticket. Unlike when the believers of Buhari already knew.
It was a given.
The people who support Obi today are not even sure. So if they are not sure, how does what is happening about how to even extend his influence to his areas of weakness? I'm talking about the north. That Atiku still sits brings a lot of uncertainty to the fold of the ADC. We are not saying he doesn't have a right. You can see that the governor of the state is already playing politics. Say, oh, this thing has to remain in the south. At this point, I think the ADC should have said, you know what, let's put everything on the table. Keeping this ticket in the south does give us a chance, or keeping it in the north? What are the sentiments? What are the calculations? Obi, whether they want to believe him or not, has committed to what? A single term. Even though politically speaking, there are people who think it does not make any sense. No politician would have the opportunity to serve for 8 years and just do 4.
As a Nigerian president?
As a Nigerian president, with all the powers, influence, and capacity. If they have the opportunity, they want to do 3 terms. So, but how well people believe OP? What about Atiku? The sentiment that, oh, why don't you just allow the South to complete its 8 years? How does Atiku want to, and I must say that Rotimi Amaechi will be a hard sell. I'm not saying he doesn't have his politics, but I think in terms of charisma and his being a sellable politician, I don't think he's got it. If you put him side by side with Atiku and Obi. And that's why I've told a lot of people who have asked me, okay, what do you think the ADC should do? Well, I'm not a consultant, but I think that whatever they do, Obi must shall be on that ticket. If they are going to stand a chance, whether as president or running mate, whatever arrangement the ADC comes up with, they must have an Obi on that ticket. If they have an Obi on the ticket, what it means, if they must have an Obi on the ticket, what it means is that an Amechi has to leave, cannot be in the calculation again. So, are we saying Atiku Obi or Obi with another northerner? I've seen people who have said that, you know what, Obi seems to have solid following beyond mobilizations and what have you that do in politics. There are just people who are extremely committed to him. And I've told people, even if you look at the last election, there were non-Igbos. It's not about just Igbos and Christians. There are ordinary Nigerians who are not partisan, who just want good governance, who somehow seems to align with what Obi is presenting to them in terms of leadership. And
without any sentiment.
Without anything. They are just people who have thought, okay, we've tried so many things. This man appears to be, yes, he might have been a part of the old order, but what he says, the way he carries himself, maybe he's going to bring something new. Especially when it comes to decency in government, you know. And so because of that, they've aligned themselves with him. But that will not automatically give him the presidency. If he does his SWOT analysis of Obi as a presidential candidate, his areas of weakness, we know his strength already. We know his weaknesses. Is a weak candidate in the north. I want to say not the far north. He will need to do a lot of work there. What are the opportunities for him now? He has a coalition party that can help him to do some groundwork. What are the threats? The threat is the APC that is not going to wait for them to be able to get themselves together. And so I don't know what this party, this coalition would eventually do to position themselves to be able to stand a chance against the APC in 2027. It might sound somehow, but it's just what it is. I've checked again. You've looked at the pattern, and you know, the fact that the government is not popular in Nigeria amongst citizens does not mean it will not win elections in Nigeria. We've seen elections that have shown that, look, not being popular amongst the people in your area of policy or whatever does not necessarily mean you lose elections. How many obstacle elections have we had since 2023?
How many of these alternative parties have won?
Have won. At least this party became extremely unpopular as a result of removing subsidy the way he removed it, floating the currency and what.
And after that, we've had off-cycle elections in Imo, Kogi, and Bayelsa in November 2023. We've had in Edo, we've had in Ondo,
and we've seen solid showing from the APC.
All of them had gone to the All Progressive Congress.
So politically speaking and realistically speaking, in Nigeria, the way our elections are structured for now, it might change tomorrow. Not being popular with the people does not mean you will lose elections, because again, there are loopholes within our electoral system. Our politics is still heavily monetized, and so long you can do your mobilization and get people to vote for you, whether through the Bokosebe or whatever, win is win in Nigeria, and the courts will not nullify it because of that. So where can the APC play the game? That's the big question.
I hope they will be able to play it. Aside from that, we're due for a very, very short break. And I'm sure you'll be wondering, oh, this is the first time, because it's a holy month of Ramadan. And so we need to respect, the people, observing this special month. Unfortunately, or funny enough, the regions where the sanctity of the holy month of Ramadan could or was supposed to be upheld is where the war is now going on. The religion of peace seems to have a different meaning in the Middle East. I mean, it's chaotic, from Bahrain to Saudi Arabia to Jordan to Iran. Everybody just seems to be feeling the burning flames of the missiles right now. Let's take a very short break. When we come back, I will look at the statement of Governor of Interior of Adamawa State, one of the newest bride of the All Progressive Congress, saying that power must remain in the south. What does that say about the agenda of the leader of the state, Atiku Abubakar? You find out when we come back.
listening to Mainland 98.3 FM. The sound of Lagos.
Oh, what a wonderful world of Sure Clean detergent. Oh yes, you can have a clean and bright wash with Sure Clean. Sure Clean detergent is tough on stains, gentle on your hands, and leaves clothes smelling fresh. Oh see, for clean whites and all colors, Sure Clean detergent makes you shine. As you spread it all, you can see the shine of Sure Clean brightness. Now wear your smile with pride and nothing to hide. Sure Clean detergent makes your family clean and happy. Sure Clean detergent, happiness with every wash.
Ramadan, a time of reflection, kindness, and sharing.
Embrace warmth and togetherness with Sedap Supreme Noodles, made with real chicken essence. Delicious, easy to prepare and share with family and loved ones. Share kindness with Sedap Supreme Noodles this Ramadan. Ramadan Kareem.
Viva welcomes you into the month of blessings, month of love, kindness, peace and mercy. Iftar together, Viva we wash the stay.
Ramadan, a time of reflection, kindness, and sharing.
Embrace warmth and togetherness with Sedap Supreme Noodles, made with real chicken essence. Delicious, easy to prepare and share with family and loved ones. Share kindness with Sedap Supreme Noodles this Ramadan. Ramadan Kareem.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. And I want to use this medium to talk to you. Please, look at the youth of Nigeria. We are really suffering.
Politics plays its part in everything that defines us as a sovereign entity. Isn't it right to discuss what makes it tick? When the main actors converge in the power corridors to make decisions that affect the next meal, shouldn't we probe even deeper?
Nigeria is suffering. The suffering is too much.
When it comes to the complexities of politics, we strive to give it clarity, to deepen your understanding as the listener.
The decisive factor will be knowledgeable leadership committed to good governance.
Make it a date with Oᴏ and Saeed Fuad on Midweek Politics every Wednesday from 1 to 3 p.m. on your top dial, Mainland 98.3 FM. Politics, it's a whole meal.
Political enemies, they don't want you to succeed. Have you just realizing that? No matter what I do, they will still abuse me.
They spoil more and more. Next time they go, children they die more and more. No food to eat, no light to see, no water to drink.
Thank you very much. You're live from Milan 98.3 FM. It is the Wednesday tonic from 1 to 3 p.m. Midweek Politics. Aside Fad is here, and I'm also here. Okoyemi. We've looked at a lot of things since started this show at 1 o'clock before we went on that very short break. And then we've looked at the preparedness of the ADC going into this election. The opposition party general, we've analyzed where the PDP is at the moment, the Labour Party and the ADC. We looked at the SDP as well. And then we've also looked at the statement of Otumade Momodu saying that the ruling APC is jittery at the moment because of the momentum that the opposition party, the coalition party, which is the ADC, is also getting at the moment. But let's quickly take this story. The presidency should remain in the south. That is the word of Governor Umaru Fintiri of Adamawa State, has insisted that the presidency should remain in the southern part of the country in 2027, saying the region deserves to complete 8 years in line with Nigeria's long-standing power-sharing understanding. He made this on national TV where he said, although zoning is not provided for in the constitution, it remains an important part of our national unity. A northerner has no business at the moment to vie for the office of the president. Let me take this again. A northerner has no business at the moment to vie for the office of the president. That is Fintiri, the governor of the home state of the leading aspirant from the north, Atiku Abubakar. Okay. He also went on to say that it's the South's turn. They should complete their 8 years if we are really serious about this country and leadership. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is from the South, is currently 7. His first term in office. Fintiri also spoke about his relationship with the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, saying it remains cordial despite his recent defection from the PDP to the All Progressive Congress. According to him, political differences have not affected our personal ties. I still have. There's nothing that has gone bad. It is just that everybody have taken different political ways, and I'm today in APC and they are in other parties, according to the governor. Well, Fintiri recently joined the APC, also defended the decision amid growing criticism over the increasing number of defections to the ruling party and claims that Nigeria is drifting towards a one-party system. The governor said his move was motivated by what he described as the need to better position Adamawa State to benefit from the federal government. I think that's the most confusing part of all of the statements that the defecting governors are making, because it's not like any APC state is better before you join them. The chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum is from Kwara State. Kwara State is one of the hotbed of banditry at the moment, and they have the chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum, a member of the APC. So what has changed? How has Kwara State being the chairman of the Governors Forum, how has it secured the people of Kwara? These are the questions we need to ask ourselves. But Fintiri is saying that the power should remain in the south, the presidency should remain in the south, no northerner should vie for the seat at the moment, and he's also saying that he went to the APC to get good and better bargains for the people of the state. The same thing that was done said by the governor of Delta, the governor of Kano, the governor of Plateau, now the governor of Adamawa State. What do you make of this side forward?
I'm not going to waste my time to focus on what these governors are saying, as one of the reasons for them defecting from their party. We all know why they are leaving. For the PDP governors, they've driven the party to a point of no return when it comes to the crisis within the party. So it does not make sense for a lot of them to remain in that party. They emboldened Wike, they tolerated him, they allowed him to become a monster that has eventually destroyed the party for them. And so on the basis of what you can call legal booby traps that may come, it just visible that some of them have to leave the party. I will never forget what Governor Umohen of Akwa Ibom said, that look, I love the PDP, I'm a party man, but what can I do? I
don't want to win the election and I will lose it based on technicalities.
And this is, in fact, what we're going to see in 2027. There will be a lot of technicalities. Because of this electoral act that have just been amended, there are things that are in that act that I consider big booby traps for our politicians. And it's sad that we left it too late, to the point where the whole thing was already signed. We've not done enough review. A lot of the politicians don't even know the legal implication of some of the things that have been put in that electoral act. So the other one of sake of equity, fairness and justice, the presidency must remain in the south. Again, politicians say a lot of things that they are not even committed to. So it's just easy for them to come up with some of these things when it serves their political interest
at that moment.
They are not, none of them is committed to equity, fairness and justice. The only time they talk about it is if it serves their political interest. Because in the states of most of these politicians, there are issues of equity that they have not been able to resolve
in their own state.
In their own states. For example, in a state like Benue, there are people there are people in Benue that have never and may never become governor. In Ogun State, for example, why is it that the Yewa people may never become governor? Because again, these are issues that they have not accepted as a problem at that level.
But they are pushing it at the federal.
So they push it at the federal level because again, it suits the narrative and serves their interest. So a Fintiri will tell you that he must stay in the south now because again, what do you expect him to say? He's a member of the APC now. And the man that will be running as president on the APC is a southerner. So he would never say, oh,
otherwise.
So we understand. So it's not because he believes in that issue of equity, fairness, and justice. Because if we are going to talk about equity, fairness, and justice, we should also microzone in the south. Because in the south, there are regions in the south that have never tested power. How many regions do we have in the south? We have the south, we have the southeast, and the southwest. The southwest, has done 8 years under Obasanjo.
They've done 8 years vice president.
8 years vice president.
Now we are doing 3 years.
They're doing 3 going to 4 years.
All from 1999 till now.
Whether we like it or not, the south side have done 6 years.
Yes, there's the southeast in this conversation.
The south is never nothing.
They've never even tested vice.
So as people who talk about equity, fairness, and justice, then it means that we have to be completely holistic about it.
Let's microzone. Let's be specific. The president should go to southeast, southwest. Be specific.
So when Wike was talking about this equity, fairness, and justice, we all knew that look, it was because again his interest was involved. And then you know why they left it open in the PDP was when Atiku now said, okay, if you want us to zone, I will now say let us microzone to the southeast. If we are going to be talking about equity, fairness, and justice truly, don't just say north and south. If Atiku will be stepping down on the sake of equity, fairness, and justice,
go to the southeast.
Then let it go to the southeast, and then we can let's leave it open. And he felt he was going to win the primaries
because southeast is not south south.
He's from south until they played him the joker that scattered everything. So let Fintiri not bother us. He has moved. We understand why they are moving. Some of the things, some of the reasons we know as journalists why they are moving, we cannot even say it on radio. So. Because again, before they say where did you get information, but of course, there's a lot that we have on our hands as information that speaks to how some of them are being coerced, lobbied, intimidated, induced to leave the PDP or their opposition parties to come into the ADC. I've listed almost 5 things. There's coercion, there's inducement, there's intimidation, there's lobbying. And then what? The fantasy of, you become the leader of the party in your state. So, Fintiri has made this political move. He should not bother us with unnecessary rhetorics. And I think Atiku and Fintiri have not been the best of political allies. If you really check, I've not really seen them as people who, I don't know how he eventually emerged as the candidate of the PDP, and I don't think he has ever identified himself as the political godson of Atiku. He's always presented himself as somebody who is independent minded, who runs his own policy the way he runs it. I don't think he has a relationship with Atiku that people can say, well, Atiku contributed to his political whatever in Adamawa State. I don't know. People can correct me. So that's what it is. The other issue, please remind me so that we can move to the next issue.
Okay. I really don't understand where this push for defending your own decision is. First off, you're a governor, whether you're running for second time or you finish your term, the most important thing is that you've made your decision. So when people come up with, the people have said it, I remember when the governor of Taraba, also Agbukefas, wanted to decamp. He said he set up a stakeholders committee to talk and discuss across all the senatorial districts in the state, and they agreed that he should move to the APC. He moved. Everybody keeps saying the same thing, but we all know very well. Is it that you're running for a second time, you're protecting yourself from persecution, you are trying to secure your senatorial, which is often a retirement home for all of these governors, or to just to have a grip in choosing your successor, because you know that the opposition party, if they have interest in your state, they might collect it from you, and then you will lose your political relevance.
I've said it for governors who say, I have to consult my people.
Which people?
And I've said that, look, no, don't mix it up. In politics, for your information is different from your consultation. So a lot of time when the governors go to meet their people, they are just going there to inform them. They are not going there to consult them, because in reality they build up their mind. So what they just try to do is to put the people behind a decision they've already taken. So they just go out there to say, look, you know what, this is where we are going, just follow me. Not that they are going to say, oh, tell me where to go. The people cannot even tell governors who are political emperors in their states. So don't let us mix things here, please.
Well, side forward, and let's talk about the big story. Build up to the 2023 election, there were pressures on the now late President Muhammadu Buhari to sign and commit to the 2022 Electoral Act. And to the point that, pressure groups and NGOs like SERAP and others were threatening to sue the president to court if he does not sign. And it took the deadline for the time frame, or according to the timetable, for the president to sign. And 2 weeks after, the Electoral Act was also recalled, and some provisions and act in it was amended.
Well, National Assembly members discovered that they've shot themselves in the foot. They were not going to be delegates.
Exactly.
So they had to return it.
So they had to return it. So, but the 2026 as amended has a lot of twists and turns in it. So a lot of people made excuse for that of 2022 that, oh, it was close to the election, we just wanted the Electoral Act, we didn't read the full context of the act. But when it became a law, it became binding, a bill that is supposed to, usher us into a different level of transparency and credibility in our election, with the inclusion of some of the the differences in our elections, collation, transmission, and all of that. Nigerians were excited about that election in 2023. Whether it meets the expectations or not, whether the glitches were official, whether it was this or that, is a talk for another day. Then the amendment began almost immediately we got done with that election, because I remember very well that before the last Senate, they've already raised the issue of the amendment even before the president got sworn in. Then this Senate Assembly took it upon themselves. Whether there were consultations, whether there were town hall meetings, whether there were provisions, whether there were contributions, it they talk for another day. But a lot of Nigerian side for didn't even know that the Electoral Act 2022 was in the process of an amendment until the clause of transmission became very, very popular. When it was announced on that particular Wednesday, and then Senator Yinaya Baribe, Senator Ereti Kingibe, and a few of them came to the press and said, this is what is indeed this and that, and then Nigerians went wild with it. But in the process of doing that side for, there were a lot of things that were, I don't want to say through the back door, included in the act, in terms of amendment, and the president have signed it. One of, whether it's in the best interest of our democracy being strengthened is a talk for another day. Whether it helps us to have a more people-centered democracy is a talk for another day. Whether it's a time where you know that, oh, whatever it is you have, just come to the polls with it. We'll find a way to move around it. It's a talk for another day. Whether it opens political involvement and takes away politics from the social media and bring it into actual reality is also a talk for another day side for. But maybe now that the entire buzz around the mode of transmission had gone down, what are the gray areas side forward that you observed in that Electoral Act as amended that you think the controversy around the mode of transmission actually blinded us from some of those things? Let's start from there. So I brought some of these things to the fore yesterday.
Yeah.
And when I had my guest, and my guest acknowledged the fact that the opposition party lawmaker
is an ADC member too.
Yes, he's a member of the ADC, a candidate in 2023 on the platform of the ADC, and he says that the opposition lawmakers should cover their faces in shame that they've disgraced their parties by allowing some of those provisions to go unchallenged, undebated, untested on the floor of the House. Let's open some of these things to the floor and let people know what exactly is with the Electoral Act 2026 as amended.
All right, okay. Again, I think people need to understand that, look, there's a reason why you have opposition in the National Assembly. And there's a job they are supposed to do. Again, we talked about what? Checks and what? Balances. So on that basis, as the opposition, no matter their numbers, even if they are just two, they can still function as an opposition. They might not be able to stop amendments, or voting process to ratify decisions of the National Assembly, but at least they can set the agenda. They can call the attention of the people to what is happening and then make a position. But at least they would have been able to say, look, on this matter, this is where we stand. For example, I'll give you a clear example now, Kwemi. On the issue of the conflict in the world now, the US Congress will convene, they will be meeting. But you know that most of the senators in the Democratic Party and the House of Reps member are saying that, look, we might not be able to stop what Trump is doing because we don't have the numbers yet, unless we have members of the Republican Party who decides to align with us. But even if they don't align with us and we are not able to stop Trump or, you know, check him on what he's doing, at least our constituents will know where we stand on this issue. They will be able to identify us as people who stood for this particular thing on this issue. Now, what am I trying to bring up? You know, the Electoral Act is supposed to be the quote and unquote, the holy book of the way we conduct our elections. Pre-elections, again, elections have stages. We have stages with our elections. There are pre-election, there's the pre-election stage, the election itself, and the post-election. Now, every politician knows that, look, you cannot take your eyes off the three stages. There are considerations that you have to concentrate on, issues that you have to concentrate on when it comes to pre-election matters. The election itself is something you cannot joke with. And the post-election part of what we do is also very important. And so that's why for every item in the Electoral Act, you must look at those three levels and see whether
it serves different purposes.
And you must begin to look at it and say, what are they trying? Look, they're going to play the politics, whether dirty or clean.
Sure.
And it starts with the way the law is amended. Number one, the fact that, look, we left it this late means that there was something that was going to happen. There was no reason why we waited till the last minute. Because as it stands, we cannot wait for too long again to amend the electoral because INEC is already running against time. Whether we like it or not, by May 29, 2027, there must be a transition. There must be a handover. We cannot extend beyond May as permissible under the law. So the INEC knew that they have to conduct the elections because there are also timelines to post-election matters. So what are we saying? No matter how small the numbers are, we know that, look,
I mean, the APC controls the absolute majority in the National
Assembly. It's not about
Assembly.
the control now. It's about whether the members of the House, for the sake of public knowledge and the interest of their party, were able
raised any objection whatsoever.
To even identify these things. Before laws are passed or before it even comes to the public for debate, the bill itself in the raw form is shared amongst members
to all the lawmakers,
and that is why some of them get huge allowances and
sit
remuneration.
down and read those bills.
Normally, they are supposed to even have legal advisors. The part of their backroom staff,
the media aides,
their media aides. They are supposed to have somebody who is a lawyer who helps you check some of these things. If not that, you can even consult bigger to say, look, you know what, help us go through this. Make your recommendations as to
and let's see where we go from
where
there.
we should stand as an opposition political party. What are the implications even for my constituents who will be interested in voting? What would the implication of some of these things be for the voting public? And that was why when I do also consider him a politician anyways. What's his name? Okonkwo. Look, because politics is not about noise really when it comes to the way we play politics in Nigeria. And that was why I said, for me, with all due respect to Chief Dele Momodu, it also fall into the bracket of people I consider serious politicians in Nigeria. Kenneth Okonkwo also makes the list. In fact, for me, it tops the list of people I just see who makes a lot of noise, but when it comes to critical politicking, you cannot put them there. It's not about the noise. It's about, do you even understand what's going on? Are you patient enough, to understand some of the issues?
Okay, I think we need to fix one of these. Let's take a very short break. I'll be right back.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. And I want to use this medium to talk to you. Please, look at the youth of Nigeria. We are really suffering.
Politics plays its part in everything that defines us as a sovereign entity. Isn't it right to discuss what makes it tick? When the main actors converge in the power corridors to make decisions that affect the next meal, shouldn't we probe even deeper?
Nigeria is suffering. The suffering is too much.
When it comes to the complexities of politics, we strive to give it clarity, to deepen your understanding as the listener.
The decisive factor will be knowledgeable leadership committed to good governance.
Make it a date with 괏ʟɪᴛᴇᴏ and Saeed Fuad on Midweek Politics every Wednesday from 1 to 3 p.m. on your top dial, Mainland 98.3 FM. Politics, it's a whole meal.
Political enemies, they don't want you to succeed. Have you just realizing that? No matter what I do, they will still abuse me.
Things destroy more and more. Next time they go, children they die more and more. No food to eat, no light to see, no water to drink.
Okay, welcome back. You know our commitment to you is to give you 100 or nothing. So when we have those tiny little, I'm tempted not to use the word glitch, and we have to find a way to quickly fix it. Side forward, go on.
All right, so now there are about 4 areas that have been identified, and my mind tells me more will come up. So because again, the media can only do the best they can do, really. A lot on our plates. Again, people don't understand how the media even operates now. We are working on a very tight budget. When everybody complains about the economy, they don't understand that, look, the media is not immune. We run crazy costs, and so, people, you have to be investigative journalists, you have to be investigative journalists, like, what it takes to do it, how tough it is for media organizations to even function at this time. But again, we keep pushing, we keep trying to do the best we can do, whether it's in the print media, whether it's with the broadcast media. A lot that still gets into the public comes from that sector. So we have talked about election transmission. I think there's nothing anybody can do about it. Again, whatever we identify as being a problem with the Electoral Act, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. The elections will be conducted with these imperfections, or maybe with what we consider booby traps. And it does not even affect the media. It affects these politicians. And I'm surprised that, look, they were not so focused
to spot these things.
To spot some of these things. Like I said, even if they are spotted it and they are not able to change, let it be known
that at least we spoke
about it and we spoke against it, and let Nigerians also know. Civil society organizations might also raise it and what have you. Now, we feasted on the issue of electronic transmission of results. That again was a big minus. Nigerians wanted it again because of the misadventure that happened in 2023, but we've not been able to get that. Okay, look at section 138 of the newly signed Electoral Act. Before, at election petitions, you can bring in the issue of falsification of results, age, perjury, forgery. We've seen people who lost their elections based on that petition alone, that part of the petition alone. In Bayelsa, Leon had won as governor. It was the deputy, it's not even him.
Side forward. They were already at the Samson Siasia Stadium on the eve of the swearing.
Planning for
we were on air when the news broke.
And it was not because they didn't win the popular vote.
Governor
who had issues, I think, with the certificate. And because it's a joint ticket,
both of them lost.
And why that is a part of the Electoral Act 2022, which has now been removed, it was, again, the Constitution. The Electoral cannot be in variance with the dictates of the Constitution. Section 137 of the Constitution states clearly what you must possess: your age, your qualification to run
for office.
Different offices. So it means that, look, even after the elections, if there are enough evidence that you've not met the requirement of the Constitution,
you still have to account for it.
If it slips through your party, INEC has not even been given the power to cancel anybody on the basis of falsification of results. It's not their job. Once your party presents you, they just accept your documents.
Even if they know that your documents
they cannot do anything about it. The law does not permit them to do it. Their job is primarily to say, look, these are people that have been presented to us. We have the document. Again, why INEC received this document is that in your petition, you can tell INEC to give you a copy.
And they'll present
and they'll give it to you. So they are just like a receiver.
And when you need it, you retrieve it.
I'll give you an example. Okay, you know when there was the problem of the governor of Ogun State, whether he finished from Ife or not. You know, there was that issue. And then a politician had gone to court to say, look, this man
did not finish
from Ife. The BSc as presented to INEC is fake. And then they had thought that there was a case there. And what INEC said was that, you know what? When he ran for Senate,
it was not challenged.
It was not challenged. That this was what he presented. But now that he's running for governor, he did not present that certificate again.
He withdrew it.
That means whatever happened. So, but you cannot, because we are talking about the governorship election. You cannot use what he presented during senatorial election to challenge
the governorship outcome.
And that was how. But people had thought that there was a case to it. You remember that even when they asked the governor, did you finish from Ife?
He was on TV and they interviewed him. He went like this, and
so because again, the idea of allowing, apart from the way the election was conducted, the idea of allowing petitioners to be able to raise questions around falsification of results, age and perjury and what have you is because again, section 137, 182 of the Nigerian Constitution as amended clearly talks about the fact that look, these are even requirements when it comes to age, qualification and what have you for different elective positions. But now in this 2026 Electoral Act, what they have done is to reduce and remove the things that can go in election petition. So the issue of falsification of results, forgery and what have you has now been expunged. The only thing you can challenge now after election has been conducted is the manner by which the election was conducted. Whether it was done in consonance with the Electoral Act, whether the person did not win the popular vote. You cannot bring in these constitutional requirements again on election petition. The danger with that is that even if I know that my opponent in the other party has falsified his results, his party may have known they allowed it to go. It's not INEC's job to stop it, but INEC receives the document. If I want it, they give it to me. The copies are there to give to me. The problem now is that if I'm going to challenge the issue of forgery, it means it will not be part of my election petition. I'll go and institute a different case in court
on the basis of the Constitution, not the Electoral Act.
So on that one, we can be there till eternity, because it is only the Electoral Act that gives clear timeline to when petitions can end, even to the Supreme Court level, 180 days. So, but it would have been better because again, if you can challenge it at the election petition, appeal, tribunal appeal and Supreme Court, it means that look, if you have enough facts, and then somebody called this morning when we discussed, you say, oh, the Supreme Court has said forgery of certificate matter is a pre-election. I say no. The ruling of the Supreme Court on Tinubu's certificate issue was that look, when Atiku went to appeal court on this issue, he did not bring part of his petition did not include results falsification. So you cannot get to Supreme Court and introduce new issues. That was on the technical ground that they nullified it. It was not a pre-election matter. And that's why because when people call in, they just want to miss it. The reason why the Supreme Court threw it out,
because it was not included in the initial petition.
And now you cannot at this, you are appealing what had been ruled on
based on the previously presented petition.
You cannot at this now begin to bring new evidence.
It's not a new case.
It's not a new case.
You cannot.
So technically, it was struck out. If Atiku and Co from the tribunal level
had included
started
allegation of falsification,
included with every other thing, should have moved. But you cannot appeal what has not been ruled on at the appeal court level, at the lower court level.
What are you appealing?
Because it was not part of what you brought in before. But now, you cannot even bring it in again. If somebody, so what it means is that if I dagbo results, I dagbo my results, the party, because again maybe I hold enough control within the party, look away. It's not INEC. I was like, just imagine INEC with all the job INEC has to do. They now have to go and check people's results.
All your results.
with all the job they have to do with conducting elections, so as you are submitting,
maybe there are like 10,000 candidates that they have to go and
so they have to check everybody
their results.
How does that even make any sense? So they will check for all. We have 19 political parties now. So they will check for all governorship candidates. They will check for all aspirants. They will check for all the senatorial aspirants. They will check for presidential, House of Assembly, councillorship. So if you say you have gone to one school in Korea,
they will still have to go.
You have to write and be looking for. It's not the job of INEC. That is actually even the job of the political parties.
Exactly. Because if at all political party, if they vet certificates,
yes, that's if they vet it. Because the danger for political parties is that if it gets to the tribunal level
and it counts,
they lose. They are the ones that will lose. That's why they must do a thorough job to ensure that whoever they present does not dagbo results.
It's clean.
Like what happened in Bayelsa to the APC. But now, what this electoral act has done is to say,
party, don't even stress yourself.
Don't stress yourself.
Bring University of Toronto. We absorb it.
When you win the election, nobody can challenge it again.
And I just missed that.
And how did we miss it? Okay, I mean, when these bills, before it becomes a public document, these are also things that politicians should have sat on to say, hey, maybe even call a press conference to say, how did it happen? No. As we speak, Okwemi, are you aware that we are just few days, weeks to the primary conduct of primaries and what have you? The gazetted copy of the electoral act is not
still available yet.
And we have now gotten to a point where things that are passed, signed,
we don't even
appears different. Up till now, there are no closure to even the issue of the tax law. Whether things were brought in or not, we have just moved on because things
always
very
move
fast,
on.
You know?
That's how we always move on.
That's one part of it. Look at the mode of conduct of primaries. Now, initially there were 3 options: consensus, direct, indirect. Indirect used to be the most popular, which means you had party delegates,
privileged few.
Well, the delegates are said to be representatives of the larger party members.
Well,
we know.
You and I know.
So, but now it's left with only 2 options, and whose interest does that serve? These are the questions. Now, what it means now is that look, is that you do direct or consensus. Okwemi, I can assure you that with the kind of politics President Bola Ahmed Tinubu plays, 99%
will be consensus
of primaries in the APC will be consensus.
Even when there was still direct, indirect,
they do more consensus. The only time President Bola Ahmed Tinubu insisted on primaries, indirect primaries,
was when he was involved.
You remember when there was the news that maybe Tinubu Buhari had a candidate.
He said, let's go to the polls.
If
they beat me, I'll go, but let's go to the convention.
You and I know that that's not the real politics he likes to play. He's a man that likes to say, you sit down, let this person go.
Don't worry.
He's a man, from what we've heard from a lot of his political proteges, that look,
everybody,
let's sacrifice for the party, we'll take care of you. Is this kind of politics, and somehow it works for him. But when it came to his own interest, we have to go to the field
because the control was not with him.
But now he's in control. And even if you look at the state congresses, a lot of it came as a result of consensus. Even the PDP governors in Delta, Enugu, Bayelsa, and Taraba,
all of them,
their chairmen that came with them are now the chairman of the APC in their state.
Yes.
Okay,
that is how it works.
That level of consensus
is crazy.
It's almost like a miracle. That people who had already existed in your party, based on your own control and influence, would accept whoever is coming to now start to lead them,
rule over them,
because it's not just the governors who are coming now. The chairmen of the party they brought
are now the chairman of the APC in the state. So the chairman did not contest. The APC chairman did not contest at all. They just baffle.
So if they can pull this off in their state congresses, in the primaries they will sort it out among themselves. So you might see a situation where, because of the influence of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the APC may not really have a problem with this part of the Electoral Act. They will most likely not do direct primaries. It will be more of consensus. Tell me, trust me, the opposition now. Now, if consensus among this opposition, can it really happen? Okay, this even at the presidential level,
because there's a lot of power play everywhere.
The only one we know about, because we are not really even focused at the state level, is the one of the presidential level. Okwemi, I can assure you, I don't know the members of the party now, that the APC will sponsor candidates
into all of those parties. Don't agree for consensus.
Not one, no. For example, in Lagos, you might eventually see 10
into all of those parties.
I know what with indirect, you can even use your party structure to shank those kind of people.
Of course.
So what it means is that you don't have the option of indirect, the major party members, to shank those naysayers or moles.
They will come
or fifth columnists. So when they come in now, if you now have to go and do direct, you know how complicated it can be.
It's like a direct primaries is like a standard election.
All party members will have to come and queue.
It's like a general election.
It is even very complicated because
that's why the oppositions are saying it's too expensive. They can't match up.
So but did they raise these things at the initial stage? Did they raise it at the initial stage? Who knows? Civil society organizations would have joined them. Well-meaning Nigerians would have also joined their voice. All of these things were not brought out. In fact, it was as if when journalists started to talk about transmission, that was when they also woke up from their slumber. And that's why I look at Kenneth Okonkwo arguing with their rights people that what is the argument about? You guys first agreed that you failed and faltered in your responsibility as opposition political parties. When the APC was in the opposition, nothing misses them. I told you, almost on a daily basis, Alhaji Lai Mohammed is issuing a statement. Now, that one did there. And I think that, look, the opposition will suffer if they are not careful with this provision. And then, the last one, no more defection. Which, again, comes to the fact that, you know what? You cannot leave your party
and be looking for special purpose
vehicle again after primaries.
Could it work?
You can't leave again.
So if you lose, if you snooze, you lose, you stay there, or you relegate politically.
There are people who have analyzed that to say, look, the APC purposely brought this in so that after they do their if you are not happy in the APC,
let me see you the can't party go, you want
you can't to go somewhere else.
You will leave the party or you stay in the
party.
You
stay there. Well, for the opposition too, it might also mean that, look, whoever is disgruntled in their party too will remain. But would they work for the interest of the party?
That's the question.
Because you might remain in the party and work against the interest
in the PDP.
Yes, working against the interest of the PDP. So, again, you know, there are people who say, oh, we need to have, and like I said, the money shows the day. The intentions are clear based on how things are handled. The fact that we deliberately left this electoral amendment till the last minute
shows that,
look, there was something to it. Again, all is fair in the game of war and love. When it comes to politics, this is, I know we keep saying it, this is not President Buhari. And I've said it, I don't think the president has shown enough commitment to giving us a fair and fair election. It's not by what he
has not even said.
He has not even promised you
the electricity he promised. He has not even delivered.
So he's a man that wants to win. He's a man that plays his policies the way he plays it. He holds no prisoners. He gives no damn about it. Look at the way he already signed the Electoral Act.
No time.
I'm sure they've checked it. They've done their thing, and oh, this works for us. They will pariwo. They will keep quiet.
And we've kept quiet.
But again, where does this leave the opposition?
So, Saifad, I'm sure a lot of people want to get involved with this one. The phone lines are open. We'll pick calls right now. But Saifad, on the flip side,
yes,
you know, when people say structures, I'm sure you could remember how many people came for you each time you raised the issue of structures, and some politicians not having structures and all of that. When they say elections are not won on social media,
sure,
it's basically saying that you have to get involved. You cannot, because the Electoral Act does not recognize association, it recognizes registration, membership, participation. So the fact that you are seen hobnobbing with a particular political party and you don't have the membership of that party does not make you a member of that party.
Sure.
You have to pay your dues, you have to have financial commitment, you have to be absorbed from your ward.
Yeah.
So don't you think this the change in the mode of primaries that is now direct, don't you think it would encourage a lot of people to now get involved? Oh, you want your candidate to be the flag bearer of that party, you need to vote for him. Don't you think it's a plus or a win for our democracy in that particular space?
Well, that's if the politicians, especially the opposition politicians, see it that way and are able to say, you know what, don't just support us by mouth, join us. I'm surprised that a basic thing as having e-registration of their party members
was even made it up.
You can see that on their portal. The NIN is accepting any figure.
Anything you
They've
put
not
there.
synchronized it with any data.
Any picture.
And that's why you can see Shekau registering on their platform.
Donald
Bill
Trump,
Clinton.
President Tinubu.
You know, so, and they are still trying to work it out. Now, what does it take, Okoyemi, to say, you know what? As he speaks, they have leaders across all states. Whether we like it or not, as an opposition, they have, a strong structure, reasonably strong structure. In the Lagos state, who are the people in the ADC? This
George
Ashiru,
chairman,
the former governor of the Labour candidate of the Labour Party,
Gbadebo
Revival and all that. Coordinate your people. It appears that whether it is OBO or whatever, there are people who still believe in the ADC. You know what? We are going to have 2 weekends. Make provisions for what does it take to get what's it called, these registration portals and what have you. Come and register at these so locations. We must commit to it. Do publicity. Get on radio stations.
Get vans. Move around.
Get on radio stations and TV stations to sensitize the people why they need to come and register for the ADC. It does not mean that if you are not registered, you cannot vote for us. But at least let us have that registration that shows some level of robustness and commitment to the party. That's what INEC is asking for. And I'm telling you, that can be done in 2 weeks. Extensively. Oh, they are talking about funds. You just have to get it done. Money is important too with elections. Yes, APC, for APC to have started it early meant that, this bill was already with them.
They know.
You understand? Because the ADC saying, that was why the APC started early.
Oh, so now you just know.
Say Yisuni. Where did the bill get to the house? Because the bill would have been in the house months before
September.
So didn't you read through? If you need,
it's not September 2025, it's September 2024.
So did you take your time to look at some of these things and say, okay, you know what? While we might not be clear about where we are going with our
let
candidate,
us at least
but as a political
party,
let's start mobilizing. As at the time the ADC came together. But I don't know. It's just.
Well, I mean,
the PDP self now, who is
you said it at the start of this conversation that
who is doing the registration for the PDP now?
Wike.
What Sheyi Makinde is doing for who?
Well, the funny thing, Wike is going around the councils in Abuja now, thanking them for voting the APC. Is on the thank you.
So some of these INEC requirements now. Because who controls the PDP secretariat now? Who is going
There's
to
no PDP secretariat as at today because INEC does not recognize any of the factions.
So who is going to coordinate this e-registration for the PDP?
Maybe we should ask Tɣᴇ, or we should ask. We don't even know who we want to ask now.
I don't know.
All right, let's allow the people join the conversation. It's been super engaging today, and good enough. It's raining in Lagos, so I'm sure a lot of us are just somewhere, maybe stuck in traffic in our offices. We're just trying to help you prepare your mind. And I would always say on this show, Mainland FM, on all our politics or current affairs space, we're not at any point going to tell you what candidate to vote for. We're not going to sell the ideology of any political party if they have any. We're just going to help you set the record straight so that you will know that we've moved past the age of voting based on your sentiment. Oh, my tribe. Oh, my religion. Oh, the candidate of my political party. No. We're going to help you and guide you on the need for you to vote based on competence, capability, and capacity to deliver on the set promises as we move into the 2023 election. Side forward is here, and of course it's time for you to join us. 09136000410. We're going to pick a lot of calls today. Side forward. Hello, good afternoon to you.
My name is Joseph.
Mr. Joseph, where are you calling from?
Lagos here.
Okay.
Okay, you said a lot, and thank you for the enlightenment, Mr. Fuad. Thank you for what you said.
Thank you.
I think you said it all. Regarding the mobilization, it seems to be non-existent. But I was going to ask a question. Is it really mandatory I become a member of a party, card-carrying member of a party to vote in an election?
No.
It's just a party requirement with INEC.
What I'm just saying is that if you want to influence the candidates that your parties can present in terms of how capable you think they are, you would have to get involved and vote at the primaries.
So, for example, if for example, obedience want to be to pick up that
you have
ticket
to
of the
vote
APC.
for him at the primary.
In fact, you have an option now. If they go in direct primaries, the obedience can mobilize people to ensure they vote for Obi during the primaries, because if they do direct, they can vote as
and
members of the
let
party.
me also put this right there.
Register member of the party.
For in case your candidate feels skimmed out of the elections or the primaries, you must resign your membership of that party, and you have to get the party to delete your profile from the party's register, and then before you can use your NIN to go and register in another political party. In case you don't understand what the president signed, we got a bit late. We'll also pick your calls in between. Unfortunately, we now have lazy and disorganized opposition parties. That is Femi from Lagos. Pastor Ambrose.
Good afternoon.
You're welcome.
Glad.
Good afternoon.
Always spot on. Very impartial, detribalized.
Thank you.
God will bless you and bless Mainland FM.
Amen.
I'm beginning to suspect that even the man Atiku is working for Tinubu. Telling you the truth. His son, the camp, his governor, the camp. Because if you look at the popularity now, Atiku does not stand a chance. But he wants to use money. And at the end of the day, the obedient have made it clearly, a lot of them at the top, that it is because of Obi they are in ADC. If Obi does not get the ticket, they will not, go ahead. And I have said it, I'm not an obedient, but I love Obi. And if Obi deputizes for Atiku, I will not vote for him. I've made it very clear.
And I'm sure that's the mind of a lot of people, by the way.
Yes. Now, Fuad, you talked about people like Okonkwo and Momodu. I think Okonkwo, Momodu, they are playing the role that Lai Mohammed played. Lai Mohammed had no political weight, but he played the role of a publicity secretary for the APC, and you could see what he did.
But Pastor Ambrose, he was intelligent and strategic about it. It's not about the noise.
Yes, but he had no followership. That's the point I'm trying to make, and that's why today now you don't hear him again. So I'm saying that let those who want to play the politics in ADC play the politics. Let those that like people like Senator Okonkwo, he's lousy. He initially left Labour Party. He criticized Peter Obi here and there, but it is what it is. The truth is that what Nigerians want is a free, fair, credible, and transparent election, and we are not seeing that. And finally, please, how can they bring the registration centers closer to the people, not at the local government headquarters? God bless you.
Thank you very much, Pastor Ambrose. Please, let's make our contributions very brief. I don't want to be cutting people off. I stand to be corrected. This new electoral act was done to favor the president. Apart from the mode of transmission, the aspect of no defection after primaries is to protect the APC from implosion after the primaries election, while the aspect that prevents bringing certificate forgery to tribunal is to prevent the resurface of the Chicago certificate scandal. The oppositions failed woefully by just focusing on the mode of transmission. As for the direct primary, it's a big blow to Atiku, king of delegates. The electoral act must be discarded after this election. That's John Benadoi from Ijanikin. Thank you very much. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon. This is Mr. Tony calling from Maboro.
You're welcome, Mr. Tony.
Yes. I only have a question to ask. That's why I said that in court didn't recognize PDP and INEC didn't recognize PDP. Then which one recognize the local government election in Abuja that PDP will won local government? I want to know people that recognize that very PDP. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Now, again, until that is challenged by the opposition,
we don't know whether it's going to be valid.
Valid or not.
The opposition is weaker now.
And it's only the APC that can challenge that one.
And I'm sure the weaker is not even interested. I'm sure the reason why the PDP even got that one is let's do 5 over. Let's do 6 hours.
So we don't know what INEC did, but.
All right, good afternoon to you, Mr. Ope and Oga Fuad. I hate to hear the statement that it is the law. I want to ask, who created the law, please? Last time I checked, humans created the law, and the same humans can scatter the law and rearrange to favor the masses. If Nigerians can stand our ground collectively, the law will be changed by force. Under the APC-led administration, even the... Okay, Olamide from Ikoton. Thank you. I had to take that part of your message because it's obviously not radio friendly, but thank you very much, by the way. Good evening to you, Ope and Fuad. For me, we should not be blaming the opposition too much for not doing this and that. What if the part we are talking of was not part of the original new electoral law at the time of the deliberation, just like the new tax law that we heard about? That's Benjamin from Shogunle. Okay, Alhaji Suba, do we have you on the show? Hello? Oh, we got a bit late. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, coming from Ikeja.
Oh, be good to have you join us.
Yeah. Fuad, please, I just want to ask a question. Is this e-legislation not an academic exercise? Because if, for example, Labour or AAP gets like 50,000 people registered digitally, does it not answer the question?
Of course it does, but you know, for direct primaries, if they are not able to achieve agree on a consensus, those registered members are the ones that will vote.
And so the registration does not end on social media or virtual. You would have to go to your ward to validate your membership, and that's the problem. A lot of the young people we have don't even know where their wards are. They don't know even their party executive. Yeah. They may not even be interested, but you just have to do it. Hello, Mr. Lucky.
Hello, good afternoon.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm also to thank you guys for keeping us alive. You know, see, I carefully listen to what you are saying. You said the truth. If you look at ADC today, it's not popular again because of Peter Obi. Because when Peter Obi joined there, and in the beginning, he was bubbling. But when they said Peter Obi, when they see that Atiku want to take over, everybody now step down. When Peter Obi enter again, he was bubbling. Now it's like, I'm telling you the truth.
But he's still a member of the ADC.
Me?
No, Peter Obi is still a member of the ADC.
He's a member of the ADC. The truth of the matter, if you go to the street, ordinary people, they want to vote for Peter Obi. As Abu said, the truth of the matter, the day Peter Obi will take the vice, that is going to be the end of ADC. Nobody will vote for him, including me. Because the difference is that the people want to put Peter Obi forward. Not Peter Obi won't put them forward. If you look at Tinubu and Atiku, they control the people. But if you don't that to my way, I will deal with you. But if you don't that Peter Obi, you cannot deal with us. You don't even know me. So what we plan for, if you look at it, obedience. There are people like Abu said now. He's obedient, but it is not a political party. Some of us now we join ADC in Agege because of Peter Obi. We are mobilized for Peter Obi. But if it is not, if Peter Obi is not in the ballot as a president, I myself and my family will not even vote that day. That is because I cannot waste my time to vote for either Atiku or because let me tell you.
But Mr. Lucky, don't you think Atiku supporters too may also hold the same position to say, you know what, it has to be Atiku or nobody. So if you stay on the edge,
and they stay on the edge, then the middle is free.
The middle is free, and that makes it easy for the APC to win.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, bro.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I salute you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, this is Robert Joshua.
You're welcome.
See, I'm not happy though about the state of our opposition. This particular event ought to be in the first place. We don't have a stronger opposition which can even at least challenge to an extent even though we cannot win the election. Just imagine that if any of them loses, whether Atiku, Obi, or whether Conquest, I don't know if Conquest is sitting or Amishi, any of them will decide not to even work for the party. So, and all this opposition, you can see the main, even just imagine the way their callers are talking. If it's not this, I will not vote, I will not vote. And if President Tinubu leads by maybe 12 million, 30 million now, you see, they're not saying, I will get it.
I'm struggling. I think it's because it's a WhatsApp call. But thank you very much, Mr. Gege. Joshua Rahim from Agege says, good afternoon to your girl, Mr. Ford. I don't see Tinubu getting 30% of the vote of what he got in the last election. Some people are in Lagos forever, not even knowing what is going on in the north. Our slogan election will soon be out. I will say this, Tinubu will not win the election in 2027. That's Abdul Rahim from Agege. Thank you very much. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Welcome to Mainland FM's.
This is Citizen Gabriel from Olowura.
Citizen Gabriel from Olowura. You're welcome to the show.
Yes, I listened to Dele Momodu today. Everything he said, he was in order. Even what he said about Adamawa governor defecting to APC, he defected to APC because others are defecting. So that's where the national cake, the cookie jar is. But what I want to say is, if not P2B, I don't think anything is going. In fact, I don't know how the election will come out.
But are you aware that the same Dele Momodu is saying it's Atiku or nobody? Are you aware? I'm sure he knows that the same Dele Momodu is insisting that it has to be Atiku.
Let's talk to Alhaji Suvar.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Ford, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. You see, my
You need
issue
to
is
put down the volume on your radio set. We can get the feedback on the background.
How is it now? I think it's better.
Yeah, it's better now. Thank you.
Fine. The point is this: we need to be factual with ourselves, especially the opposition. The problem they have is inconsistency. Look, Mr. Ford, you give the analogy of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, how he sacrificed himself for the party. Look at the history of this big the so-called opposition we are talking about. Right from PDP, you remember that Obi is in PDP, with Atiku, with Tamboa, and this man in Sokoto, and Yᴏᴜᴜ himself. Because all of them that are contesting for presidency, they all fall out from the party. Now Obi came to Labour. I should expect Obi to solve the problem in Labour. This is the party that give you that the consistent. I mean the popularity. You let it go for goodness sake. Obi made that heavy mistake, and now they are now ringing back to him that he is not part of the founder of AD. That is the song they are singing now.
Who is singing the song that Obi is not a member of the?
Wow, well, maybe the followers are that. The originator. I'm talking about the originator of AD.
In fact, they are people who lobbied Obi to come in. They know the strength of Obi. I'm sorry.
Of course, they lobbied to get it.
Singing that Obi is not a fan. They want him. They know his strength.
Thank you for him. Yeah, they want to have popularity with through him. Yeah. But the fact still remains. They are not telling him that he's not part of the founder.
Who is telling him that? Who has told him in the ADC
maybe the followers of
where did you have that information that ADC members are telling Obi that is not
that is not the founding? He's not the founder.
I mean, they through the media. We are hearing the news.
Which of the media?
Don't you remember the conversation they had? The followers of Atiku and Obi.
Thank you, Alhaji Subar. Thank you very much. Emmanuel is texting and he says, good afternoon to you, Okpe and Forward. There's a difference between the intentionality of the ruling party and the unseriousness of the opposition party. To become a Nigerian president is not about seeking outdated and unnecessary sympathy on social media, because the real voters are not on social media. I'm expecting the miracle of magic that the major opposition party want to perform during the election in 2027. Thank you very much, Emmanuel. Oga Fuad, do you know that the ADC can't hold a meeting in Lagos? Oga Fuad, please try to confirm it. That's Abdurrahim from Agege. Good afternoon to you. But if Peter Obi supporters think they can blackmail anybody with the Peter Obi or nothing chance, they are joking. They think Obi alone can win the election. Would be here to celebrate Tinubu in 2027. Nobody has a monopoly of madness. Dolly Suave from Ilupeju. Hello, good afternoon. Oh, we got to be late. 0913-600-0410. That is the number to call if you want to join the conversation. Steve Offer from Ijanikin says, please, let's not waste our time talking about those bogus and senseless statements coming from those so-called defecting governors. It is very clear we don't have patriotic citizens in the political class who are ready to build our democracy in the real sense of it. They are just desperate power mongers waiting for every opportunity to grab power by all means, without any atom of morality. Something using their state funds to kill the opposition is fun and should be celebrated. Our way is just still too far. Thank you very much. Some calls. Good afternoon. Welcome to Mainland FM.
Hello, good afternoon.
You're welcome, brother.
My name is David.
You're welcome, Mr. David.
That's right. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay, my take is LOB and the article. You know, sometimes I'm beginning to suspect article. I think article. If article should declare, there's no doubt that it's working for Tinubu. You understand? And for me, I have decided, me and my family, that Ipobi is not on that ballot. Ipobi is not on that list. I will just take my.
What of if it's on the ticket as running mate, VP? Would you still vote for that ticket?
No. Obi should go for the. For now, it's the only one that we can. You can imagine what is going on. See what they are doing to Erufai because he has skeleton. If anybody has anything against Obi, let him bring it out. At this critical time, you know that if there's any issue against Obi, he should have been invited now. And by now, you know what will be happening to him. So let's just give this man a trial. Let's just try him.
Thank you.
If he fails, we know what to do.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hello, good afternoon.
Okay, good afternoon.
You're welcome.
Yes, Oga Fuad. Good afternoon, sir. I like you, Oga Fuad. Yes. My name is Robert.
You're welcome.
Robert from Papa. Let me answer Laji Subero. Well, I want to ask, when the president was in the opposition, was this how the party he belonged to? I mean, the opposition then. The ruling party then, PDP. Were they giving opposition this kind of problem that they are giving other one now? Is it a crime to be an opposition? With a democracy without opposition, how do you call such a democracy? Even in America, there is opposition. Abi? Today you want to arrest opposition, you carry them to court, weekly somewhere disturb it. How do you think they will function? Your electoral act, you bring it to that way. I was going through the electoral act today that has 122 pages. I was just shaking my head. It's a kind of thing that I see there. Is that how to run a country? My brother. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Thank you. Good afternoon to you, gentlemen. What was discovered to have been a shrine? Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm sure you mean to say to have been enshrined into our electoral act as amended, where the issues of forgery is reduced to a levity case, has shown that Nigeria, our country, is gradually drifting into a country where criminalities, corruption, and immorality becomes legalized. Some of you blaming the opposition not doing enough should understand that the strategists must have planted moles in other political parties so that Tinubu would be the only eligible person standing. Are we not captured? Illegalities has gradually become normal practice under this administration. This is the reason Mr. President was swift in signing the new electoral act, because he has covered every of his dirty ends. That is James from Agbado. It's a lengthy one. Good afternoon, guys. I want to ask for once, can the APC government led by our president do a free, fair, and credible election without vote buying or intimidation or police conspiracy? No, because they benefited from it before. It seems this snatch it, grab it, run away formula has come to stay. Case study 2023 election and other elections afterwards. Look at what had transpired on Saturday, where the election was a charade of the people's wishes, intimidation, weekend running up and down as if he's the chairman of INEC, using impunity. And Amokiton want to continue Yakubu's legacy of rigging for the ruling party. At the end of the year, the president is happy and is congratulating himself. Okay, thank you very much. This should be from Lekon, from Lagos. Ooh, Messages are pouring in, but we have to go right now. I was wondering what Tinubu would do with the defectors after 2027. I can now understand his ruthless approach. Tinubu does not just defeat opponents, he would capture and digest his opponent. That's Femi from Lagos. Okay. ADC should give us OB to try our luck. God would help with Nigerians. That's Tunde from Magboro. On Facebook, Oluwadare Busayomi OBJ says, good afternoon, guys. I strongly support what Mr. Fwa said about the opposition parties 100%. Even some opposition candidate will be sponsored by the APC if care is not taken. God bless Nigeria. That's Oluwadare Busayomi. Chika Onyegbula says, Oga Fwa is already okay. I sent that message earlier. Zeno Agawe says, why will I vote Atiku? Shane, our ancestors won't continue to vote for me. See where Bubu took us to. Bulaba continued. Then I will now go and say I want to vote for another ancestor that is trying to fulfill his own lifetime ambition. God forbid. It is Sir Peter Obi or nothing. We don't try for north. We don't try for west. Make we try for east. Okay. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, Fayemi.
You're welcome.
Good
to have you join us.
Yes. Fayemi, at least by the end of the year, every primary will be done.
Yeah, okay. by end of May.
Okay, May. So every both the presidential and everything, Okay, it's okay.
Hello.
When the primary is being properly done. So, hello, are you still?
I'm with you, former.
Okay, yes. When the primary is done, so Nigeria will now decide who to vote for. Seeing the mode of the primary now, it's not that you are lodging people in one hotel again. So everybody has to queue and do the proper. So now, let's see what Tamboa is going to do this time around. He played again with Sonyoke in 2023. Is he going to play against maybe one of the two people who will wait? So after their primary, Nigeria will decided come 2027. Okay, you said something yesterday. You know, to be sincere, most of the election the APC won, off-cycle election, is it free and fair? So when we analyze, let us be sincere because life and property follow the election.
Thank you very much, former 0913-600-0410. This is the last call for the show today. Good afternoon.
This is Miracle from Badagry.
You're welcome, Mr. Miracle.
Yeah, we're not begging anybody to vote for P2B. You understand me? It's not by force. But I believe on a very good day, people will beg to come and rule Nigeria. On a very good day, people that are antagonizing him, they will beg. And when they beg, he won't be nowhere to be far. He won't be interested again. There is problem that we bring upon ourselves. By the grace of God, I hope it's not swallow us. See Iran now, because Iran is supporting terrorism. That's why US is trying to allow the leadership. This country also, TikToks. I mean the bandits are doing on TikTok. They are still like someone in their face not anything. Very soon now, I just pray not to that you that our parents will be bundled by US or Israel because of terrorism. I just hope so. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Miracle. We've come to the end of the calls right now. With the desperation of politicians in the ADC, they are giving the APC an upper hand in the forthcoming election. That's Tunde from Magboro. Good afternoon to you guys. I think this has to be one of my best time on radio, listening to this show every Wednesday. Please, can we make it twice a week? The issues that have been raised today can never have been discussed better on any other platform. Thank you so much, Said Fuad, for always leading the conversation, and thank you, Okpe, for always providing support. I know you're an Arsenal fan. How does Arsenal fan enter this conversation? If you should leave me, Said Fuad, we need to go. It's been a super engaging session on the show today, and I hope that the people would understand that, you know, when policies are being raised in Nigeria and then it get mentioned in passing on the shows, on social media, on radios, people should pay attention to it. A lot of us allowed ourselves to get distracted with the old mode of transmission in the election, and we missed some of these keys. Thank you for joining us on the show today, Side.
Thank you for having me.
And we are also joining you in the Ramadan. But our own is to count the days. We are not fasting. Thank you for all of the calls and the messages that came through. Let's do this again next week, Wednesday, at 1 to 3 p.m. Next up is Mainland FM. The boss. It's a Wednesday edition. You have the opportunity to call in and request for songs of your choice. There's Jaydan, the good guy with the bad intentions, and his beautiful co-host BB, the biggest B. And of course, Sage Babalola pops up on by 4 p.m. with the Situation Room. 5:30 there's Global News. 6 p.m. I would also come back to take you through the world of sports. Big night in the English Premier League today, as Manchester City and Arsenal will be in action against their respective clubs, Nottingham Forest and Brighton. All of those and more. And by 8 p.m, you know it is. It's a Wednesday, and you got to join the ladies on the shenanigans. All of this and more are to make you have a beautiful radio experience. My name is Oᴏᴜᴜ Akíndé. Have a beautiful Wednesday afternoon, and join me again next week Wednesday 1 o'clock on your Super Damina 98.3 FM.